What's up, guys? This is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe. Make sure you remain subscribed. And also, there is a super thanks feature in each and every one of my videos, as well as a Cash App link in the pinned comment below. Guys, let's talk about Marvel Studio head Kevin Feige. Guys, I'm sure you will join me in being outraged by what I just heard about Kevin Feige. This dude has actually implied that he will recast everybody in the MCU. Everybody, everybody, everyone. Yes, everyone. And guys, if it's one thing you have convinced me of, it's that recasting these iconic characters away from the amazing actors who have played them would be nothing short of sacrilege. I used to believe that you could recast different roles. I mean, they are like Hollywood roles, just regular characters or whatever. They're fictional. But I have listened to some of the viewers out there who have told me that recasting a role from a great actor, let's say such as I don't know, Chadwick Boseman, would be dishonoring that actor. And I took some time to think about it, and I was like, you know what? Maybe they got a point. Yeah, I could see that. So I'm on board. I'm a believer, you know? But then I heard this, guys. Then I heard this, and we cannot have this. Now, let me share this with you guys because you need to see exactly what's going on here. Now, this article was in variety.com. Check out this headline. Marvel plans to recast. That's like the F word around here. Recast? Marvel plans to recast the X-Men and I hope you're sitting. Eventually, Tony Stark after Avengers Secret Wars. But reboot is a scary word, says Kevin Feige. Now, let's scroll down. Are you okay? Do you need something to drink? Are you all right? Okay. I'm only going to go on if you say you're okay. You're okay? All right, because it gets scarier. Now, let's see here, guys. We're going to scroll down. It says, okay. It says in future films, however, X-Men characters who appeared in previous movies will be played by new actors. What? By new actors? Along with mutants making their big screen debut. The decision echoes changes in the composition of the Marvel comics following the 2015 Secret Wars storyline, which involved multiple timelines collapsing and reconverging, mixing up the characters of the main Marvel timeline in the process, which, by the way, sucks to me. I hate multiverses. If you're with me, get in the comment section and let me know. Multiverses are the ultimate cheat sheet to me. There are no stakes. If anybody gets killed, it's okay. Break glass, go over to the multiverse, bring over a copy. Just cheap. I hated it. I hated it in the comics. I hate it in the movies. We're utilizing that story not just to round out the stories we've been telling post Endgame, just as importantly, and you can look at the Secret Wars comics for where it takes you. It very, very much sets us up for the future, Feige said. Endgame literally was about endings. Secret Wars is about beginnings. But Feige was also careful not to categorize the changes as a reboot. Don't call it a reboot. We've been here for years. No. He doesn't want to characterize changes as a reboot. Instead, the executive said Secret Wars will serve as a reset for the MCU. Reboot, it's a scary word. He said, reboot can mean a lot of things. It can mean to put your boot on again, for example, or it can mean, well, it means a lot of things to a lot of people. Reset, singular timeline. We're thinking along those lines, he said. Later, he added, X-Men is where that will happen next. Feige noted that the X-Men comics, with their focus on Xavier's school for gifted youngsters, naturally centered on stories about adolescent characters. They have been a place to tell stories about young people who feel different and who feel other, who feel like they don't belong, he said. That's the universal story of mutants, and that's where we're going. I don't even like the wording of that, man. It's like, you know, who comes out when you start talking about that. Young people who feel different, who feel other, who feel like they don't belong. You know what ends up happening, you know? Fabulous! Pride! Yeah, okay, but we'll see. Even more intriguingly, Feige also indicated that other Marvel characters will eventually be recast, including its most iconic roles. I hope you're sitting down. You are, right? Like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. What? Tony Stark and Steve Rogers? Nobody can play those roles like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. Are you kidding me? No, absolutely not. I used to think maybe this was possible, but many of you convinced me it would be dishonoring, disrespectful to those actors who poured so much of themselves into that role. You could never ever see that. A recast, get the hell out of here. The same way we would never think about recasting Black Panther because it's disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman. We would never recast Iron Man or Captain America. This has got to be an April Fool's joke. Let me check the calendar. I don't know. It seems like he's not kidding. He pointed to many other film franchises that have done the same thing multiple times over. Yeah, I remember when I used to do that. I was so silly. Amy Pascal and David Heyman are now searching for a new James Bond, Feige said, referring to the producers of Amazon MGM's upcoming Bond film. Remember when we used to say that? They've had something like what, like 7, 8, 9 James Bonds, something like 10 Batmans, something like 15 Superman. Don't even get me started on Spider-Man, or maybe even the Hulk. That was just so silly. It should have died with the original actors who played those characters. I don't know what this dude is thinking about, guys. David Cornsweet, the new Superman, he was awesome. That will always be the case. Now he says that will always be the case. Now he says that will always be the case. A few years ago, he said that will never be the case. We will never recast T'Challa. Recast? What's that? He said. No way. Now, all of a sudden, that will always be the case. Something that we were saying something like 5 years ago, more than that. But now, all of a sudden, he's discovering recasting. Why? Why? Kevin Feige, why are you talking about recasting now? I mean, for those people who say, Mark, it's different. Listen to yourself. It's different. Chadwick Boseman died. Well, you do realize that one day Robert Downey Jr. is going to die too. You know, it's going to be a sad day, but one day Chris Evans is going to pass away. And don't you think it would have been disrespectful to keep these characters going in like with somebody else playing them? Those characters should be a testament to those actors who made them break through. You know, that's how I feel about it. One day I'm going to pass away. You know what I mean? We all will. You know, that at least is one promise of life that will be kept, sadly, but it's true. All right. So I don't see the difference, except that you value some characters more than others. That's what I see. Black Panther T'Challa was treated as if he was disposable. And this has got nothing to do with Shuri. So don't bring your sorry ass in here talking about, you just don't want to see a woman. Kiss my ass with that shit. That's not what this is about. Black Panther T'Challa was a historic character, Marvel's first, I said first, very first Black superhero. T'Challa, not Shuri. Shuri didn't come along until something like maybe 40 years after the invention of T'Challa. All right. The creation of T'Challa. This isn't about Shuri. This is about that character that we just sat there as an audience, especially as black men. I just love black men in all of this. Will you shut the fuck up? Oh my God, you're such a coon. You're a bootlick because you go for whatever they tell you to do. You go for whatever they tell you to do. Like, I'm sure now it's making sense. The Kevin Feige said that recasting is a good thing. Guess what? That white man is right. But we can't think for ourselves. He has to think for us. We don't know when we're being disrespected. No, no. Feige acknowledged that stars who've retired their original MCU roles, like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, have made it difficult to imagine anyone else in their character's shoes, like T'Challa, like Chadwick Boseman. But it isn't an impossible task to dream the impossible dream. Yeah, that's what we were saying. That's what I was saying personally. It's not impossible. It's an insult to think that there are no other black actors out there who could play T'Challa. It can only be one per generation. We have no faith or confidence in each other. And somehow we think that makes sense. Somehow we think that that's healthy for us as black men, that we don't believe in ourselves enough to know that there could be someone equally as talented, as intense, or maybe even better than Chadwick Boseman. Yes, I said it. It is not disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman because he felt the same way. If you paid attention, he literally said these things. I think it's hard for anybody to do that when an actor has done such a great role, he said. How are they going to ever replace Sean Connery as James Bond? Right? Once again, things that we were saying for years. But now that Kevin Feige is saying it, oh, you can take that to the bank, boss. Oh, yeah, we really do believe in recast now, boss. You want to do it now, boss? I'll play the role, boss. At least two legacy actors may yet still appear in the MCU as well. That's about his plans for a follow up to Marvel's 2024 blockbuster Deadpool and Wolverine with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Feige, in typical fashion, made no definitive statements, but also didn't close off any possibilities. I think it's more fun to be had with both of those characters, he said, but we'll see. Hey, listen, man, he's the MCU's studio head. So, of course, whatever he says goes. But my thing is, as the paying audience, we do have a say as well, especially, and I keep trying to drum this into you guys' heads. As long as Disney and the MCU and Lucasfilm and everybody else, as long as they continue to put black people out front and say, look at what we're doing for you people. We put you people in there. You people like this, don't you? This is representation for you people. It's not out of the realm of possibility or even appropriateness that we would have something to say about how we're being portrayed, how our characters are being developed, and the preserving of our superheroes, the ones that they're marketing towards us. Because believe me, I lay claim to Peter Parker Spider-Man. I lay claim to Ben Grimm the Thing. You know, I lay claim to Superman, to Batman, all of this. But since Marvel, since the MCU, since Kevin Feige, since Nate Moore, since Ryan Coogler, since they're the ones who are saying this is for you people, we're going to release our movies during Black History Month because it's just so significant. Since they're going to do that, then I reserve the right to say when I don't approve of how you're handling these characters, how you're handling this representation. And that, my friends, is empowering because as we know, there is money, there's power in the money. There's money in the power. Money in the power. Money in the power. Shout out to the ghetto boys. There's power in money and spending. Okay. So that's all I'm saying, guys. That's my point. All right. So how do you feel, guys? How do you feel about the fact that Kevin Feige is talking about recasting everybody when a few short years ago he was anti recasting and led you simpletons, some of you, you know who you are, to also be anti recasting? Does it all make sense now that White Daddy told you that it makes sense? Get in the comment section and kiss my ass. That's for the rest of you. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being there with me. And of course, if you want to contribute to the channel, you may also use the super thanks as well as the Cash App link located in the pinned comment below. You can hate me now. All right, guys. That's it. Thank you guys for putting up with me, those who understand. For the rest of you, have at it. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C.